Hi there guys, I hope you are having a good day. Now obviously there are insults flooding in for Dillian Whyte. A lot of fighters like Andy Ruiz Jr. and maybe not Tyson Fury. He did say 40 and proud congratulating Povetkin. He also said in a recent interview that he believes even Daniel Dubois would knock out Dillian Whyte. So there isn't much sympathy for Dillian Whyte. But Bob Arum has obviously had no sympathy for Dillian Whyte by saying that he was too busy fighting legal battles and stuff like that for his WBC mandatory slot, that he didn't even see Povetkin's uppercut. Now obviously that was a jibe at Dillian Whyte, and he has also said that things will look a lot worse over in the UK once Kubrat Pulev knocks out Anthony Joshua, and he said London bridges are falling. Does he really think that Kubrat Pulev is going to knock out Anthony Joshua, or is he just a promoter who has to say that? Does he have to say, yeah, go ahead Pulev, you're going to knock out AJ, just like Povetkin knocked out Dillian Whyte? No, it's not going to happen. I mean, obviously, if Anthony Joshua does not prepare properly, then yes, that could happen. But I just don't see Anthony Joshua on his best night losing to Kubrat Pulev. I just don't see it. I think that Kubrat Pulev is tailor-made for Anthony Joshua. Now, I also think that both styles are tailor-made for a good fight, but I just don't see how Kubrat Pulev has the power, the speed, the movement to trouble Anthony Joshua. He makes mistakes. Yes, they are looking at the Andy Ruiz Jr. loss. Everyone seems to be looking at that, and everyone will who faces Anthony Joshua. But the problem is, they don't look at what happened during the build-up. Jarrell Miller was the fighter he was preparing for. Anthony Joshua wanted to fight Deontay Wilder, Tyson Fury, maybe overlooked Andy Ruiz Jr. It was a style also that you cannot overlook. A style that was always going to cause Anthony Joshua problems. And not only that, he went in there probably not too bothered about the fight. Obviously, he wanted to win, but he wasn't really psyched up for Andy Ruiz Jr. So that was a recipe for disaster. That's why that loss happened. Look what happened in the rematch. Joshua schooled him. So what does Pulev think he is doing by taking encouragement from a previous loss from one of his opponents in a fight that is completely different to the way he will be fighting Anthony Joshua? Same with Bob Arum. He seems to think that Kubrat Pulev is a better fighter than Andy Ruiz Jr. Therefore, the knockout will be the same, if not more spectacular. I just don't see how they can even believe that, because Ruiz is a short, stocky Mexican fighter with a come-forward style, very fast, great chin, likes to trade up on the inside. Pulev, tall, European style, stand up, there to be hit, good jab, good right hand, but ultimately, if Anthony Joshua slips those shots and starts countering him, what is Kubrat Pulev going to do? If he is hurt, he will either stand there in the centre of the ring, feet squared, ready to take punches. That's what he done against Klitschko. Or he will retreat and Anthony Joshua will walk him down and take him out. So Kubrat Pulev doesn't have the punch resistance, the speed, the size that bothered Anthony Joshua in that fight with Andy Ruiz Jr. And I know I say size. Size can be a difference whether you're bigger or smaller. Anthony Joshua is notorious for struggling with smaller fighters. He does not struggle with someone of Kubrat Pulev's stature and skill set as well. Plus, what is funny about Bob Arum's statement, London bridges are falling. Obviously, Tyson Fury is not from London, but still, he's from the UK. He's from the UK, he's British, and he's a heavyweight world champion, signed to Top Rank. So what's he doing? Is he backing Kubrat Pulev to beat AJ, then beat Tyson Fury? I don't get it from Bob Arum, I really don't, because he's saying that obviously Dillian Whyte has suffered a defeat. Anthony Joshua will also suffer a defeat. Is he also saying that Tyson Fury is going to suffer a defeat to Kubrat Pulev? Imagine that. Kubrat Pulev, undisputed champion. I mean, I just don't see it. I don't see how he can beat Anthony Joshua. He definitely wouldn't beat Tyson Fury, but he definitely wouldn't beat Anthony Joshua either, especially if Anthony Joshua prepares in the right way. And he will. He's not going to make that same mistake he did against Andy Ruiz Jr. because there's too much on the line. Undisputed in the future with Tyson Fury, and so many big fights on the horizon for Anthony Joshua. Now, does Kubrat Pulev have a chance against Anthony Joshua in this fight? Yes, of course he does. It's the heavyweight division. We saw the reason why it can be so devastating over the weekend. Dillian Whyte in control for the whole fight basically, then got caught with one punch and that was it. So one punch can change everything. One punch changed everything in the Andy Ruiz Jr. fight for AJ. He was in control, winning the fight, dropped Ruiz, but then got caught with a shot he didn't see coming. That's the heavyweight division. That's what can happen. So yes, there is a way in which Kubrat Pulev can win the fight, but not if AJ is switched on, not if AJ is at his best. We've seen what AJ can do now. He can box incredibly well, especially in that Ruiz rematch. That was better than the Joseph Parker performance, and that just shows that Anthony Joshua is still getting better. He also has that fighting style to go back to, where he gets close up on the inside and works. He doesn't hold on the inside. He likes to work, and that is what he will do against Kubrat Pulev. Pulev doesn't necessarily like to fight on the inside. He'd rather hold, have the referee reset them, then go back to the centre of the ring and keep it long range. If he does come in, he does like to hold. He does often come over his front foot as well when he rushes in. So there are some question marks about Kubrat Pulev's positioning and some question marks about how he distributes his weight from his back foot to his front foot. He kind of falls in, which can be very dangerous against Anthony Joshua, especially if Anthony Joshua walks him onto a check hook. That will catch Kubrat Pulev all night long, a check hook, even an uppercut as he rushes in. That is the worst thing Kubrat Pulev can do, is come over his front foot when he is coming in against Anthony Joshua. Joshua will make him pay for that. Also, one thing that Kubrat Pulev and Bob Arum are overlooking with Anthony Joshua is his speed and his movement as well. We saw that in the Ruiz fight. Now, Anthony Joshua can throw powerful shots, but also he can throw fast ones, scoring shots. So Anthony Joshua will be picking up rounds while Kubrat Pulev is chasing the fight. And the problem with Kubrat Pulev chasing the fight and having a lot of work to do late on, if it goes that far, is he will start to get desperate. And that is when Anthony Joshua will start sitting down on his punches and being a bit more spiteful in there with Kubrat Pulev. I don't believe Anthony Joshua needs to rush out, go straight for the kill, try and take Kubrat Pulev out. He doesn't need to do that. He doesn't need to step on him straight away. Box, use those fast shots, win the rounds, especially the first 2 or 3 rounds. Then Kubrat Pulev will start to get desperate and try and be more creative. That is when Anthony Joshua can start sitting down on those punches. Pulev is a good fighter. I'm going to give him credit. He is a very good fighter. So he does demand respect, and obviously you cannot expect to go in there at world level and just blow someone away. It's not going to work like that. So Anthony Joshua, if he breaks him down, then Kubrat Pulev, as I said, starts getting a little bit more desperate and eager to land. That is when Anthony Joshua can step on him and start really working those shots in. Those short, fast shots on the inside will be devastating for Kubrat Pulev. I don't know how he is going to try and work with that, because ultimately what Kubrat Pulev will try and do is hold, but Anthony Joshua is going to be a lot stronger on the inside. And Anthony Joshua, as I said before also, he likes to work on the inside. Pulev doesn't necessarily like doing that, especially with a big inside fighter like Anthony Joshua. So guys, anyway, what are your thoughts on this? Bob Arum has explained that now that Dillian Whyte has suffered a shock loss to Alexander Povetkin, it will be Kubrat Pulev next that causes a shock loss for Anthony Joshua. London bridges are falling apparently, even though that all of the heavyweight world championships are in the UK. So I don't know what Bob Arum is going on about there, but ultimately he believes that Kubrat Pulev is going to win. He has to, I guess. If he was promoting Anthony Joshua, he would be saying the same, that Anthony Joshua is going to win. He's backing his man, so fair play to him. But ultimately, I believe Anthony Joshua will be too big, too fast, and ultimately too good for Kubrat Pulev. That's just the way the fight will go. December 5th or December 12th. We are waiting on a date and a venue. Anyway, guys, what are your thoughts on this? Make sure you leave your thoughts in the comments below. Leave a thumbs up and subscribe if you are new. Thanks, guys.